Breaking news. These FEMA camps are for you, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared for the goon squads. Be prepared for the extermination, the Georgia Guidestones, the Agenda 21. You've seen it coming. The fluoride, the GMOs, 5G death towers. Ladies and gentlemen, but they pulled the trigger. You didn't want to give up your guns? No problem. They sent the Wuhan super virus after everyone. And this is your future. Take a good look at it. If you go quietly into the night, this is your future. Look at that. You think the lockdown of the ghettos is going to be bad? Just wait until they're done mopping up. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope there's some 3%ers out there. I hope you're locked and loaded, ready with your honey traps. You know what a honey trap is? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get into that. We really got to get into the news. We got to get into the news because there's a lot to cover. And then we'll start talking about the rest of the story. And we were chatting with the audience on the ScrewTube channel. And we got some requests for topics, so we'll be sure to cover that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here's a nice little fun fact for you. Every 2 years, there's been an outbreak during the election. SARS 2004, avian 2008, swine flu 2010, MERS 2012, Ebola 2014, Zika 2016, Ebola again in 2018, and now it's the Wuhan super virus, bitches. How many of you out there are prepared for what's coming? Nobody's prepared. Trick question, rhetorical question, Farley. How many people remember that movie, Mr. Woodcock? Ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, let's not go there right now. Here's some of the latest footage from the kill zone. Another kill zone. Of course, it's outside of China now. This is Iran. We've actually got some real disturbing videos, but similar effect. Do you see the syndrome? This is the drop dead syndrome. It's not just the flu. Do you think they'd be chasing after this shit if it was the flu? Like this, locking everything down. This looked like it escaped the lab day one. It didn't show up like out there in the frontier. It showed up right there downtown Wuhan, right next to the weapons lab. You know what I mean? And then immediately they were just shutting everything down. So mysterious. Doomsday, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we had someone in the audience say that, you know, they've been trying to perfect this weapon for years. And their first attempt was SARS 1.0. And then there was the Ebola thing. And it looks like they got the recipe just right. They mixed it just right. They were missing that hidden ingredient from the Canadian lab, ladies and gentlemen. And they got it. They got their missing piece, the Hendra virus, which goes dormant and systemic. It starts with the acute infection of the respiratory tract, and then it invades every organ of your body, like AIDS. Like AIDS, bitches. Airborne AIDS. Drop dead style. We don't know what the full magnitude will be long term from this outbreak. The world will never be the same. Nobody's ever going to forget 2020. If humans are around like 100, 200, 300 years from now, they'll still be talking about this. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody's ever seen anything like this. It looks like, you know, the Kurds when they got gassed the first time. Look at the Kurds now, betrayed by this administration. If this administration can genocide the Kurds, what do you think they're gonna do to you, bitches? Oh, you're about to find out. Look at this. Look at this. This is heartbreaking, actually. Pull your kids out of school. This is Iran, right? And so it's, you know, the infection is completely generalized. In the UK, we're hearing about tons of schools being shut down. Primary schools, elementary schools, and the like. Everybody's, you know, going to get dosed. Pull your kids out now and Worry about the rest later. Take a vacation from your job. Everything's going bye-bye. So if you haven't gotten the memo, you've only got a few days to prepare. But now the sheeple have kind of caught on. They're raiding Costco. Here's an update. Toilet paper out of stock. Every brand online. Oh, look, they finally closed the Louvre. I was thinking about that with their 666 panes of glass in the Pyramid New World Order thing. It's very symbolic. They're finally, starting to buckle. The system is starting to buckle. These, centerpieces of the New World Order are starting to close. Everything is starting to close. And in France right now, it's going Wuhan hardcore. Every city is starting to light up, and they're going to shut down schools. They're shutting down near Paris now. They're shutting down everything. And you're not hearing a lot about it. They're not releasing any maps, but every city is blinking. The entire country's been infected. Guaranteed. They don't have 100 cases. They got 50 million cases. Easy. Coronavirus epidemic in Iran has passed the crisis level. The country is imploding. Law and order will disappear. Numerous officials have died, and mass infection among hospital staff and police forces included. This is a country ender. And of course, the people, on the front lines, public servants, are the first ones to go down. Then comes the chaos. Then comes the Mad Max until the EMP and the Chinese invade. This was a preemptive strike against the world. Payback for tariffs and other things. But look, this administration was rolling out the death towers anyways. 5G was a national priority. So if it wasn't the Chinese, it was going to be Trump, bitches. We thought we dodged the bullet. We're like, oh, Hillary, she didn't make it, And we're chanting, lock her up, lock her up. And what does he do? He whacks Epstein. That's what he did. He's like, oh shit, busted. Busted. He did a Hillary. And he got Zuckerbot on board. Of course, all of these tech giants are sentinels for the Skynet, kind of like Terminator Genesis. Did they come back in time or just from another planet? It's definitely they live. Speak of the devils. Speak of the devils. And they want, they've sold out this country to communism. And they want to call themselves Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't that piss you off out there? That you got all these commies in California? Doesn't that piss you off? Oh, look, they want to put the mark of the beast on you. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this guy looks serious. But doesn't it piss you off that you've been sold out by these people? Time and time again. Look, this is the new normal now. This is your new world now, thanks to this new world order. And this statistic here, ladies and gentlemen, tells you everything you need to see. See if we can... No, we probably can't adjust this live on air. No, it's not happening. The video guy is fired. Fired, ladies and gentlemen. But we just wanted to show you this graphic of the cases outside of China, how it's, totally taken off now. Don't pay attention to the video guy. But, these are the cases every day, right? And it's just boom, as projected. And look, had they done more earlier on, they could have perhaps limited the destruction. But now everybody's infected. That was part of their plan, just like 9/11. Ladies and gentlemen, just like 9/11 all over again. The planes are 20 miles out. The planes are 10 miles out. Do the orders still stand? Do the orders still stand? Of course the orders still stand. What are you talking? Why are you announcing how far the plane is? Why would you do that? We're watching it on TV. We're supposed to be acting surprised. And here comes Mr. Secretary, Mr. Big Mouth. Oh, the planes are 20 miles out. Countdown. The planes are 10 miles out. Are you sure you want to do this, sir? Are you sure you want to betray America, sir? Of course the orders still stand. Because these people work for the devil. some kind of alien force from another world. That's exactly what's going on here. They're trying to destroy humanity. People better wake up. It's an alien invasion. Literally. Literally. What are you waiting for out there? For them to kill you all? Obviously. Man, the sheeple these days. The sheeple. You think people back in 1776 would have waited around this long to exercise their rights and to take their country back? Oh no. But now, the programming and the indoctrination is like the scientific method. They know how to manipulate you so hardcore. You don't even stand a chance. People don't even get it. If you think focus groups are manipulative, you can't imagine what Facebook can do with all of their data and classifiers and the like, and the AI. They know everything. They know more about you than you know about yourself. They can ping your phone and just watch you twitch. It's like a fucking, pardon the language, science experiment. And they've rendered people like cows grazing in the pasture, waiting for the slaughterhouse. Moo cows. I bet you all were thinking, oh, life is pretty good. You're looking at your 401k, right? Huh? You're looking at the stock market. You're like, oh, I'm in the money now. But you forgot that George Carlin, stand-up routine. It made sense to everybody when they heard it, didn't they? Didn't it? Right? It made sense. Yeah, you betcha, don't you know? Yeah, you betcha, don't you know? It made fucking sense. They're coming back for it. Have you seen the markets lately? They're coming back for it. Now they're going to deploy, your worst nightmare. What are you going to do? Right? You were cheering this shit on when it happened, weren't you? You're like, look, they're raiding the poor, the poor citizens there, trying to protect the planet. Well, look, these people were kind of, libtards anyways, so it was like, good riddance. But still, look at our country now, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, just wait for it. Okay, let's get back to the news. We didn't mean to segue and sidetrack. I hope we didn't disturb anybody's, thinking out there. Anyways, let's get back to, current events, shall we? How did we get here is another question. But current events, look at the graphs, look at the statistics, skyrocketing. This is really creepy. This is from the French government, as you can see. And it's like stage 1 is, hold on, let's go back here. It was really creepy. Okay, stage 1. First cases imported, diagnostics on the territory. Of course, they didn't test anybody, really. Just like in America, test didn't work. It's all part of the schedule. Information, national information. Of course, out there, it's all like state-run programming, like hardcore. Isolation and care for sick people, and to repatriate those from affected zones. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Detection of cases, contact cases, tracing, objective, slowing down, the infection. Stage 2, clusters identified within the territory. Identification of chains of containment, isolation, and healthcare for the sick. Canceling, big events and all that stuff, right? Stage 2. But they're so late. Just wait for stage 3, though. Stage 2, closing of the schools and recommending limiting non-essential movement. Stage 2, they're there right now. They're closing schools. They've canceled like big, events and all that stuff. Way late, though. We talked about this. I'm not sure how many people have been following this broadcast, but a week ago they were having this big like agricultural expo in Paris, and they brought in all the farmers from all the little towns, right? And we're like, what a bunch of dumb fucks, right? The outbreak is just ravaging the country, stealth mode right now, and they're inviting everybody in from, and this is like part of the plan. This was happening everywhere. In America, it was like the Super Bowl and, you know, all of the other conventions and rallies. And there's a reason why they were doing this stuff, you know, during the election period, because they wanted, you know, people to gather. Now, check out stage 3. The virus is circulating openly within the territory, which is happening right now. Here's what's coming. Objective: to stop the effects of the epidemic waves or pandemic. And here's the kicker. The state will put in place every means necessary to fight against the propagation of COVID-19. That means Wuhan. In fact, we're going to get into an article from the UK that says they're going to do exactly that. They're going to lock down cities just like Wuhan, just like we said, and they're going to hyper-normalize it, baby step it, and before you know it, you're going to be buried, locked in, you know, to your building. They're going to weld the doors shut. They're going to quarantine your block or your, you know, division, if you will. And, you know, they'll start isolating, compartmentalizing, liquidating, and they'll make it seem normal, like you're infected, you know. And that reminds us, you know, you go back to these scanners like this one, and it doesn't even measure the right body temperature. You know, in centigrade, 37 is normal, 39 is a fever, and this guy's got 33. You know, it's probably 322, kind of, if you look at it right. And, you know, we've seen numerous videos where you can see the readouts on their instruments, and they're not even close. It's like, what do they even bother for? And it's just, you know, it's just part of the illusion. They're going to scan you and say, oh, look at your Facebook profile. Oh, you're a truther. You're a patriot. Yeah, you're infected. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what they're going to say. And, you know, you might very well be infected. And there probably will be a lot of people that, you know, kick off because of this. Let's get through all this news and then we'll get into the subplots, if you will. Coronavirus, hospitals near collapse in Lombardy, which is the Milan region of Italy. So it took like a week and the whole thing's, you know, ready to collapse pretty much. 130 cases in France now. And so in a couple of days, it'll be 1,000 and then it'll double. And then it'll be like, you know, it'll just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And it'll be there. It'll be like that for everybody. What do they say here? Yeah, all schools, colleges, high schools in the following towns have been locked down. So it's like the beginning days of Italy in this section. And this is, you know, we covered this probably 4 or 5 days ago. And we're like, you see this little area of Compagnie or whatever? It's all going to get locked down. And here it is. So, you know, this is like a syndrome. It's like an effect. And we're on a timeline. And we're on a schedule. And this is what we, you know, we're saying day one. Go look at our reports day one. And it was pretty obvious. We've got 2 months to get ahead of this virus. Otherwise, it's just going to blow everybody away. You'll never be able to catch up to it, right? And we made a lot of noise. I mean, if you look at our Facebook page right now, you know, we're live on the ScrewTube. But if you look at our Facebook page, you know, the first couple of weeks that we were, you know, covering this, you know, right at the beginning of the lockdown and the mystery of the bioweapon and the like, I mean, we were reaching millions of people, right? And that would be enough to, you know, get something going. And they're like, oh, no, don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. We're going to be okay. It's never going to come to our shores. We've got the CDC to protect us. Right? And what do we find out? Oh, their kits don't work. They're not even testing anybody. It's so bad, they don't even know why their kits don't work. Right? And the states are pleading, let us do the test. Let us do the test. And the CDC is like, oh, no. Don't you worry. It's never going to get here. Right? It's like these people like have this imaginary friend. You know, all these people in government, all these people on TV, they have an imaginary friend. And they're talking to it like, oh, you know. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? These people have been deceived. You know, they put their faith in the devil. ladies and gentlemen, and they've been betrayed. This virus is coming to exterminate them. What people don't get about this matrix that we live in, this constructed reality, is that everything's here with purpose. The snake didn't just, wander into the garden by chance, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot to think about on that one. How did the snake get there? What was the snake doing? What's going on? This is our destiny, ladies and gentlemen. This is our time to shine. It's always going to be David versus Goliath. You've got to persevere to the very end. Enjoy the ride. It's going to be fun. I hope you're ready. You've been warned. 30 plus days. If you couldn't get your shit together in 30 plus days, there probably wasn't much hope for you anyways. So don't complain. Go back to NBC. China officials knew of coronavirus in December. And you don't think our surveillance networks knew about this back in December? You don't think we got people on the inside? They knew about this. Planes are 20 miles out, bitches. This is part of the New World Order plan. We covered this. We're not going to regurgitate. More than 76,000 migrants have left Turkey. It's all messed up over there. I mean, they're exploiting this, pandemic to the fullest. They've unleashed what's going to be millions of Syrian war-torn, battle-hardened refugees into Europe at the peak of the fucking, end of the world crisis, New World Order plague. It's like, oh, what perfect timing. You look at their flag, it was always the pentagram, the Turkish red flag they always set it up with the pentagram. The dude's super creepy over there too. Hardcore links to ISIS. See, here they are. It's always the pentagram, right? And look, they're proxies for the devil. Turkey shoots down Syrian planes and destroys 100 tanks in offensive. And this could spark off World War III. There's a lot of talk right now. They're trying to drag NATO into a war with the Syrians and the Russians. And NATO is like, And so the Turks are like, okay, enjoy the refugees, bitches. So that's really kind of like the short of the long of it. But it's such like a sub-story in the middle of this huge epidemic. It's kind of like, what do? Do you cover this? We could cover this. And I guess we have, just a little bit. Publishing document. Now, look, we covered this years ago when the gas attacks were happening in Duma and the like. And it was clear that the white helmets and the British intelligence establishment was involved there. It went as far as the Porton Down attacks as well. The Novichok attacks where they were blaming the Russians. I mean, the British have had this huge thing with the Russians, as bad as, Hillary and, everybody else. All the libtards just can't stand the Russians. Now, why can't they stand the Russians? Well, because the Russians don't want nothing to do with all of this libtard madness. They haven't opened up their borders. They haven't, sold out to the devil. They still have a very orthodox society. And, it just ticks them off. It ticks off this liberal New World Order, right? Go research that in the Beast System, search engines. Liberal New World Order. You'll see that in tons of official documents, especially the ones that, were coming out during the, during the Russian, investigations and the like. And all of the, Russian interference kind of thing. It was like the liberal New World Order establishment has determined that the Russians were responsible for Hillary's loss in 2016. Oh, you mean the WikiLeaks, the Podesta files, that, hidden map on a napkin that pertains to pizza. I don't know how many people have been out there in the real world, but coded language when you see it. When people start talking about weird maps for pizza, it ain't going to Domino's, bitches. You know what I mean? They're picking up crack or something. Then we got hot dogs and the works, and it was just like, okay. And look, that stuff was so self-evident. You'd have to be, a nut job to vote for those people. And yet, look at all the nut jobs there are out there. Tons of crazy people everywhere. You see them in California. And look, I don't think they're surprised that their day has come, right? They're not surprised. You think Sodom and Gomorrah, you think these people in California are surprised that they're all now doomed by, the plague, right? You know what I mean? What's next? A massive earthquake? You never know. You never know. I thought it was going to be an earthquake that did them in, ladies and gentlemen. And I personally would have been satisfied just with, California, perhaps the whole West Coast, like falling into the ocean. But no, now it's like every, Sodom and Gomorrah beast system megacity is just going to get wiped out. What a sad fucking day for human history, isn't it? Ah, man, I'm so sad. I just can't, I'm losing so much sleep over the fact that, their system is just going bye-bye. Gone. I feel bad about that. Really do. It's just like, wow. And what's real funny is watching all the zombies like flip out now watching the television, like, oh, now they're like, whoa, what happened? Right? It's like the Twilight Zone. It's like a paradigm shift. It's like David versus Goliath. You're thinking to yourself, oh man, we can't do nothing, and the Terminators are coming, the Death Towers are everywhere. Right? You're thinking to yourself, oh man, we're screwed. Right? Well, now look at the situation. Now they're all going to get wiped out. And all you got to do is ride out the storm and then just kind of like, take over your governorship. You know what I mean? So prepare out there. Prepare to administrate. And if you're serious about taking this country back, remember where we come from, ladies and gentlemen. Remember who sent us. Right? And there's a church in every town for a reason. It's in God we trust. It's freedom of religion. We're a Christian country. And these Luciferians are just trying to steal it from us, right? They wanted to ban the Bible. Just before all this broke out, the Chinese were like, oh, we're rewriting the Bible. Every Christian out there is like, Look at him now. It's terrible. It's terrible. And the devil came along and told all of these demons, hey, guess what? We got a new plan for you. And the demons were like, yeah. Oh, a super virus. Yeah. Right? See, that's what people don't get. It's all part of the plan. They're going bye-bye. And it's sad. Look, there's nothing we can do for these people. They were lemmings anyways. They were just, they wanted to jump off the cliff. You can't save these people. You've tried, right? When it came to the 5G, the fluoride, the GMOs, the Gladio B events, the two-party system, 322, skull and bones. I mean, you tried. We've all tried, right? What did they do? They just kind of like censored everybody. And then they're like, you're Nazis. Imagine like the psychosis there. Nazis were socialists, liberals, right? And you got liberals calling conservatives Nazis, and you're like looking at the situation like, wow, did I just enter the madhouse? Imagine entering in the insane asylum and trying to explain things to people. That's pretty much what we get now. There's nothing you can do. You can't help them. They're crazy. They're gone. They're on the meds, right? 1 in 2 people are on the meds out there. They're voting for Hillary. They don't care if they're molesting children. They don't care if they sold their souls to the devil. They don't care if they're killing innocent people around the world. Think of all the damage the Western world has done to the rest of the world over the last 50 years. How many massacres? How many endless wars for, pure greed and the like? Out of control. And look where they were going next. They wanted to assimilate mankind with the brain chip and plug them into a virtual world, into a matrix. They were going to doom you. And you were just going to sit there and take it. You were going to get penetrated by this deep state like a bunch of what. How could you do that? How could you do it to yourselves? How could you do it to our country and to our cause? Don't let it happen again. Reinforcements have arrived. And Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be wiped away. Don't look back at it. Remember that story, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't cry for them. They got exactly what they deserved. And there's nothing we can do except ride out the storm. Get in your ark, and when you come out, you scream out loudly, Pharaoh, let our people go. And then it's Hunger Games. We're on the hunt, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the hunt. Now, the goon squads will be coming. They're going to try and take you out. They're going to try to sucker you into, into one of their FEMA camps. The video guy is fired, by the way. Don't go out like that, ladies and gentlemen. You'll know when the time is right. You'll see it, you'll see history repeat itself, just like in China, the China syndrome. They'll start locking everything down. They'll start taking one person, then another person, then entire buildings, entire blocks. They'll infect everybody. Hope you're ready for it. Anyways, situation is running out of control in the UK, and they're going to get hit so hard because of all the flooding that's going on. I hope this guy's in the audience right now. You never know. And you'll understand why. Let's see if we can get something here. No, hold on. We gotta get in touch with the video guy. Let's see, let's try it again.
Let me show you the craziest thing you've ever seen. Okay?
Okay.
We're here at my house in West Hollywood, okay? Look. This is a tent from 2 homeless guys. I came home the other day, and I'm like, hey, guys, y'all gotta go. Inside my fucking gate, they jumped my wall, and they got their shit everywhere. I'm like, hey, guys, you gotta go. I call the cops. The cops get here, and they say, hey, if you touch their shit, we're gonna take you to jail for fucking up their property. And I'm like, dude, it's on my property. And they're like, doesn't matter. Don't touch their shit. All fucking night, these motherfuckers are fucking all night and being loud as fuck, getting fucked up, having parties and shit. You fucking libtard fucks.
I had to play that. It's not really relevant, but look, if you're living in California right now, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? If you're a conservative and you're still there after everything, get out. Get out. Another doctor gone in Wuhan. All age groups and the like. Let's see. What is this in Spanish? Looks like, the situation all over Europe is degenerating. This is LA residents stocking up. It's looking just like China just before, the bomb hits. Millions of uninsured Americans are certainly a ticking time bomb. Don't you wish you had some kind of guarantee that you'll get the cure, that you'll get the antidote for this new world order? Poison, ladies and gentlemen. You should have spoke up sooner. You should have got together sooner and taken this country back. 8,000 cases outside of China right now. Remember when it was just like 100, 200, 300, Diamond Princess, 700. It's like 8,000 now. What's this? Epidemic coronavirus. Government officials. That's the problem with this situation, is that everybody is going to be infected. And we don't know how bad the long term of it is yet. But, we've been covering, the pathogenesis of this disease. And it starts with an acute infection, like measles, if you will. It infects the nasal pathway, and then it spreads into like a systemic infection. And people can relapse. And, we've talked about this, like the hidden little characteristics of this virus that are yet to come out publicly. But this thing is much, much worse than you think. We'll get into that. Auschwitz, ladies and gentlemen, you thought it was just a dream. It's coming to you. You were laughing at that. History repeats. Did you follow the Nazi gold? Right? You remember 9/11, don't you? You followed the Nazi gold. What do you think these people do? Did you ever go check out that movie Hitler and the Occult? Right? You got a bunch of liberal socialists into the occult, rounding up people and exterminating people of faith. Does that sound familiar to you? Does that idea sound familiar? It should. It's exactly what the Democrats are, socialist cult members, witches, going after people of faith. How many Christians out there think they're not Jews? Come on, tell me. How many of you think that you're not related to Judaism? Where do you think the story happened? Who do you think the dogs were back in the day? Think about it. Any case, we just thought we'd throw that out there. Jewish boy, born in Paris, And the Parisians back then, they were shipping off everybody they could, rounding them up. The cops were rounding them up, putting them on the trains, out to the camps you go. People were getting invitations from the local, city council, mayor's office, if they just had, a certain last name. Arrived in Auschwitz on the 4th of July, 1944, in a transport of 1,100 Jews deported from Drancy. He was murdered in a gas chamber with 478 people. If you laugh at that, you won't be laughing when you see what's coming next, ladies and gentlemen. Hong Kong police pointing a gun at innocent civilians. Now, you have to remember, we're a country of 350 million people, many times larger than Iraq. They couldn't lock down Iraq. They're not going to lock down America unless you let them. Don't be a sheeple out there, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, pedophilia. Oh, yeah, it looks like a couple actresses were protesting the Roman Polanski thing. Those people are still out there. Real interesting next strain updates as far as the genome is concerned. How do we not protect our first responders when it comes to COVID? The Wuhan supervirus, did they not know they were assisting suspected cases? Now we've got at least 2 fire crews out there in Kirkland, which is about to go Wuhan, that are basically in quarantine. But look, everybody's pretty much infected by now. And it's really going to come back to disease management. I believe that we're facing a substantial outbreak in Washington state that was not detected until now due to narrow case definition, obviously. And this is like a really interesting phylogenetic analysis, if you will. And we might have to blow this up, see if you can see it a little bit better. Probably not. But these are the 2 Washington cases, and they're basically direct descendants of one another. The Washington case was the first case to hit in, mid-January in America, and they thought they had it contained. Well, that thing was spreading, for the last 7 weeks in Washington state. So pretty much that whole state is gone. And San Francisco is even worse, because that's like, a major port of entry from Wuhan at the height of the epidemic. 20,000 Chinese coming in per day for like 1 or 2 weeks when everybody was infected. The numbers must be staggering. In fact, right now, the true numbers must be just about everybody's been exposed. Just about. If you're within 100 miles of a big city at this stage, chances are you've been dosed. And it's now starting to emerge from the background noise of the regular flu. And pay attention out there. You're going to start hearing orchestras of people coughing at the store, at the mall. It's going to seem like an episode from the Twilight Zone, and you're living in it. And we've had that experience. We're in lockdown right now, ladies and gentlemen. And it's coming to an area near you very, very soon. So we hope that you're prepared. The first death that they reported in Washington means that, this virus was spreading in the community for a long time. This is a long kind of stealthy disease before it hits you. It's not like the flu, like you get it in a couple days after infection. It kind of harbors in for a while, and it can be 2, 3, 4 weeks before you actually go critical. And by the time you go critical, this thing has replicated so many times that just about everybody in town is infected. It just takes one. This is a bioweapon. And what this thing is engineered to do at the end of the day is hard to say. But you release a doomsday weapon like this, you have to think that it's going to kill, a lot of people. It's not just going to be 2% or 5% or even 10%. I mean, it could be 10%. I think 10% would be, at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, 10% of the world's population would probably be the best case scenario. The worst case scenario could literally be 100%. Everybody's dead. And they just don't know it yet. Well, what does that change anyways? We're all here with a life sentence. Where here is is hard to say. We call it planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. That's the name of this place. But where are we really? What's going on? You know, the dark side doesn't want you to think about those kind of things. They don't even want you to see the stars anymore. You know, you can't see them with the city lights. And now with the Elon Musk 5G death grid, you won't see anything but the Death Stars out there. It's a nightmare. These people have to go. Nothing personal. You know, I think they're entertaining on television, like, you know, like comedy. But it's not real life. These people aren't real life. They're a trap. They're trying to steal your soul, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way the U.S. healthcare system can handle 15 to 20% of cases going to hospitals. And the U.S. can't build hospitals in 10 days either, next to the crematoriums, like China. So what will they do, ladies and gentlemen? Are they going to convert all of the stadiums and schools and the like into FEMA camps? That's what they're there for. All of those HVAC systems in prisons, schools, and stadiums. Oh, they can gas you with it. But they don't even need to gas you with Zyklon B. They just got to gas you with Zyklon C. C for coronavirus, bitches. Check this out. Matt Hancock refuses to rule out a Wuhan-style quarantine for UK city. This guy must, you know, run something out there in... Oh, he's the health secretary. Oh, yeah, that's reassuring. So they're going to lock things down, and that's the beginning stage. And once they lock it down, then, you know, they can just basically run everything on VR from there. You know, they can just basically CGI the city and make it seem like everybody's okay. Don't you worry. You know, one city after another just getting wiped out. And you won't know until they come for your city. 12 more people test positive in England. It's, you know, it's melted down. Check this out. Woman claims that she was rushed into experimental puberty drugs. This is the UK. That's a girl, dude. That's a girl. That's why, you know, this virus has come for them. These people have become a disease, and this virus is the cure. Surgeon General urges the public to stop buying face masks. No kidding. You know, they're all wearing face masks, but they don't want you wearing face masks. Is there something, you know, in the fluoride? Is there something in the fluoride that we should know about? How about them vaccines? An article in the Journal of American, in JAMA, we'll just say that, reports PCR test results, COVID-19 patients who met conditions of discharge yet reported positive 5 to 13 days later. And this is, you know, we're seeing more and more evidence of the relapse. And there's other terms for this, and, you know, we could kind of get into what this thing really does. I think we've got a brief summary here. But basically, this infection in humans is going to be associated with viral latency and subsequent recrudescence. That's a pretty interesting term. We're not going to get into the pathogenesis of this virus right now, but it kind of goes, it goes dormant like herpes. And, you know, certain conditions will arise that will kind of aggravate it. And usually it's like stress or fatigue. So fatigue management is going to be huge. This thing is going to basically plague people like mono until it triggers again. And, we've talked about, some of the things that you really want to get right now. A large stock of magnesium, zinc, vitamin C. There's no telling how long fruits and vegetables will be around for. You want something storable, as well as, biodegradable disinfectants like white vinegar. Chlorine will just gas you like the curds. Basically, let's move on and get through all of this before it gets too late out here. But let's see, what do we got? 2 more tests positive for coronavirus in Oslo. and the like. The whole continent is basically boiling down here, melting down. London Uber driver reveals how he killed a man by removing his kidneys while he was a surgeon. In China, hardcore organ harvesting out there. Santa Clara, this is kind of interesting. Listen to this. New coronavirus case identified in Santa Clara County. Oh. Second Amendment under fire in California. Santa Clara forms gun confiscation team. Oh. So they want your guns, and they're going to lock you down and liquidate you. Get out of California. They're going to get it the worst. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be like a giant Jonestown cult. Mass suiciding over there. Over 50 staff and residents at nursing home have coronavirus symptoms in Seattle. The whole West Coast is melting down right now. It'll be, a couple days, maybe a week before the whole thing's like Wuhan. People dropping dead, and, we'll be covering that live. Let's see. Chinese scientists raised alarm over coronavirus in December, but the government covered it up. Not just their government, our government. They're in it together like a bunch of Charlie Manson groupies. All the water's gone at Costco. Look, they might be able to maintain supplies for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, but then it's going to get to, it's going to become catastrophic. We'll have to see how bad it gets and the like. We were saying they should have set up a Manhattan Project of all the top scientists day one of the Wuhan lockdown. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out. And they just kept going with their delusions, man. This administration is guilty of destroying the United States of America. Let's rebuild from the ashes and take out the trash. All of it. The skull and bones, 322, Democrats, Republicans. There's more independents than Republicans out there right now. But, we'll see what's left after the storm. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. But everybody should be building up a Red Dawn type of network. Remember the movie Red Dawn? The commies are coming, bitches. They're going to be wearing white suits. They're going to come in the vans or whatever. And be like, oh, you got a temperature. No shit. Come on in, sir. Have a seat. Let me get my things. I'm ready to go. Haha. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying there? It's like that pizza map. Except we're not talking about pizza, bitches. More than 50 people at a long-term facility. Yeah, we covered that. They're all infected on the West Coast. Chicago, of course, Jussie Smollett. What else we got? We got a bunch of information here. I kind of wanted to cruise through some things that we didn't cover yesterday real quick. I know that people wanted to talk about energy weapons, and we're going to bring up another graphic here if we can. Not sure if we can, but we're going to try our best. From an Air Force top secret report that was declassified, exposure to RF radiation has been observed to cause physical alterations in the essential cells of the immune system. Essential cells of the immune system. And degradation of immune system response. Guaranteed 100% EMF radiation destroys your immune system or compromises you, and it's going to make this virus more effective. Ditch your phone, go get a dumb phone and keep the battery out of it. You can bet that all, electronic devices are going to be pulsing, hidden signals as part of the program. It's going to be like an adjuvant or a cofactor in this infection. And undoubtedly, the cities with 5G are going to get hit the worst. But everybody that's got a death phone on them is basically compromising their immune system. Wi-Fi, just as bad. So, look, people are going to be saying, oh, how am I going to communicate? Look, we haven't used wireless technology since 2010, 2012. I've been off the Wi-Fi for like 8 years. I'm a recovering, Wi-Fi holic, if you will. And I feel fine. I feel fucking fine, ladies and gentlemen. What else can we say? But yeah, when if things get bad and you don't know what else to do, just take down the death towers. All right. I mean, that's all you can do to try and survive once things really get bad, and they will in the next couple of weeks. Right now, this is basically the calm before the storm, a little bit. Or it's kind of like that in that scene in The Matrix when, you know, it's towards the end and they're in their ship and, you know, they make it up into above the clouds and they can see the sunshine for a second. They're like, huh, that's so nice, you know. And then it's like right back into the shit. This is basically where we're at. We're going to go straight into the shit here in the next couple of days. So I hope you're enjoying the show now. This is kind of like, you know, talking about the ideas. Soon you're going to have to get into action. And now this video here is like basically the last stand in a building in Wuhan, one of these high rises. You can see that, you know, all of the other apartments around it are completely black, pretty much, you know. And we've been seeing lots of videos like that. And they kind of zoom in and you can actually see they're basically extracting a body there. But what else can we say? Kirkland is going to be, you know, a huge epicenter now. Watch out for Kirkland. It's going critical mass. The Hunger Games are about to begin. I know there was something else that we wanted to cover that we didn't get yesterday. We're just going to kind of keep scrolling through here. Tom Cotton's on the ball, right? And you can bet that this is going to end up going to World War III probably. I mean, the Chinese are showing up in real life anymore. This might all be like VR, CGI from the bunker.
The problem that...
You know, how many people remember the Hillary thing when she basically, you know, collapsed during the 2016 campaign? And then they brought out like what looked like a clone, you know, from the clinic. And you know, we're seeing the whole Turkey situation kind of boil down, or melt down a little bit too. So, you know, the moves on the chessboard are getting closer to World War III. And this is the New World Order's fault. You know, and ever since, you know, the Russians gave Snowden asylum, it's just been kind of like one thing after another. You know, with the Obama administration, it became Obama's ISIS. Obama started a revolution in Ukraine. Obama tried to take out Putin with MH17. They missed Putin's plane and they got MH17 instead. I mean, these people have been begging for World War III for like pretty much 8 years. You know what I mean? Everybody could see this coming. Then there was like the Tianjin, you know, mystery explosion. We got to play that clip again. But there's been all sorts of things happening behind the scenes. And so this is like, you know, Cold War at its best. And they're like, oh yeah, accidental super virus from bats. What do you think about that? Huh? You like that? You, Mr. Big Mouth over there with your sanctions? What do you think of this batshit virus? Huh? You like that? Now what you gonna do? So basically, our choices are either to absorb the losses, which could be like 10 to 50% if the Chinese are feeling nice, or 100% if they're feeling like assholes. Pardon the language. And so what's going to be our rebuttal? You know, full nukes, another virus. You know, what's next? Why can't these people just go to Mars and fuck that shit up? You know what I mean? Instead, they got to do this over here. Whistleblower claims cover up of dangerous quarantines. Oh yeah, and like the way they were quarantining these people that they brought back from the Diamond Princess, it was a big joke, right? And nobody was trained. It was just like an extension of the catastrophe on the Diamond Princess. It's like none of these people ever watched like the movies Outbreak or none of it, you know? It's like, what? Virus? Biosafety level 4? What? You know, what? It's like total idiocracy. Imagine like, you know, given the world's biggest idiots, you know, control of everything, right? That's what we've done in this country. Look at the people that run it. I'm so tired of these fucking politicians. I'm so tired of each and every one of them. They gotta go. They fucking gotta go. And this virus is the cure, ladies and gentlemen. 4 new cases are going to explode. Okay, was this the one? U.S. says Chinese ship fired laser at American aircraft. You know, what else is new? Ladies and gentlemen, I guess we'll just have to find out next time on the next episode of Stranger Than Fiction News. Be sure to like and share. Check everybody out tomorrow, hopefully. Should be interesting. The stock markets, they're probably going to just like close the stock market and say, no, people are panicking. We're just not going to open it up. You know, kind of like the week after 9/11. So we'll have to see. And by then, you know, they may just kill the internet and just run off with the money like a big giant Ponzi scheme. Remember 9/11, how they were like, they stole all that gold and stuff? Like it was the movie Die Hard. You know, they just came in and raided all the gold and they're like, haha, yeah, Bin Laden did it. What do you think about that? Man, you just couldn't make this shit up. And now we have to go through it again because we didn't take out the trash. We made videos, we talked about it, but we didn't get serious. And look, there's nothing like a little Mad Max end of the world shit to make people kind of, you know, to get people motivated. How many people are ready for the hunt right now, you know? It's just like, wow. We'll just see. We'll see what happens. Stock up, lock up, and get your ammo. Till the next time. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.